Hey guys, Sundown Rider here. This is going to be my chapter review to Fairy Tail 540, Harmony. Now this chapter was split into two parts for me, and not in the middle, it was split into two parts between the entirety of the chapter and then the last two pages. So the entirety of the chapter was, for the most part, pretty shit. Alright, now you expect this from Fairy Tail. Alright, so the whole chapter, more or less, was bullshit on top of bullshit. I mean, thank God we didn't just see Makarov alive for the first time in this chapter, because that would have just taken this chapter beyond every other chapter that we've ever seen in terms of how shit it was. But the last two pages, where we see how the chapter ends and what's going to happen in the next few chapters, why there's like 6 chapters left or 5 chapters left, those were good. Those 2 pages, I'm really hyped for those pages. I was like, yes, this is what I want to see. This is what I wanted to see. And I'm not sure about you guys, but I've always wanted to see what happened at the end of this chapter. Since we found out about Acnologia, basically, I was like, Dragon Slayers kind of make sense, you know. Dragon Slayers are designed to slay dragons, you know. It says it in the title. So this chapter was called Harmony, and you'll find out why. So let's go through it. So what we see first is all the Dragon Slayers who have been absorbed into the ravines of time by Acnologia have been frozen in like these crystal pillars. I'm not sure what the hell they're made of. It doesn't look like it's ice or anything. They're just frozen in these crystal-like pillars. And Natsu is the last one there. Alright, so they've all already been dealt with. Natsu's the last one there. Let me just shift this. Okay, yeah. So Natsu's the last one there. With Acnologia's newfound space-time magic, he plans to destroy the world. He's like, yeah, he was planning to destroy the world anyway. But he's like, yeah, now that I've got this new time-space magic, I'm gonna kick some ass. I just think I'm gonna absorb you Dragon Slayers first and all that shit. But my question is, I'm not sure if I've just forgotten it or if it was never really given, but why does Acnologia want to destroy the world? You know what I'm saying? I mean, you gotta have a reason. There's gotta be an innate reason for why you wanna KO the entire world, alright? I mean, unless the world did you some amazing wrong. Unless they enslaved you, they beat you, they abused you every possible turn of your life. There's not really a good reason for wanting to destroy the entirety of the world. I mean, I get he's a dragon, I get he's a dragon king, I get he kills dragons for a living, and he does all that shit, and like peacetime isn't really good for him. But he's gotta have there's gotta be some reason beyond craziness for him to want to destroy the world, because then if it's just because he's crazy, just because he's evil, that means your character lacks depth, or he's just not a very good character. I mean, he's not a very deep character. I mean, even the Joker from Batman, he was evil and all that. He's crazy. He's very crazy. We all know that from The Dark Knight. But he didn't. Even through all of that, he didn't really want to kill Batman. You know, that was all. He just wanted to create anarchy. That was what made him deeper. He was crazy. He was more intelligent. He was very. He had a lot of guile, a lot of wit. And he didn't really want to kill Batman. He just wanted to continue going on and on trading blows. So that was what made him a bit more deep. And I'm sure people around the internet will give me a lot more on how deep the Joker was. But Acnologia at the moment seems to be a very shallow character. He's just, I want to destroy the world because I can. Yeah. So Acnologia is heading for Magnologia. Acnologia is heading for Magnolia. He's going to destroy it. And then the bullshit of the chapter, Ichia and Anna, they couldn't even stay dead for like 2 chapters. They pop out of the ravines of time, alright? Just like with Acnologia, Garganta opens up in the sky and they go, and they just pop out of the sky. Now this was bullshit, alright? The explanation given was kinda okay-ish, but it was bullshit. Basically what happened was Anna and Ichia were expelled from the ravines of time as Acnologia attempts to maintain harmony by circulating the magic of Dragon Slayers through his body. So he needs to absorb these Dragon Slayers, circulate their magic through himself so that he can maintain harmony between his spirit and his body. Okay? Because Acnologia basically absorbed so much power from the ravines that his body and soul have split. So his spirit is in the ravines and his body is in the real world doing some badass shit. So that's all the explanation that Anna gives us, alright? Now, I understand that, okay, maybe that he needs to create harmony, so he's just got the Dragon Slayers in and he expelled everything else. But Ichia and Anna, almost, if things hadn't gone right for him and he couldn't absorb it, they would have killed Acnologia. So I would expect Acnologia to just, because there's no doubt in my mind that he willingly let them escape the ravines, considering he willingly, he forcefully let the he forcefully pulled the dragon slayers into the ravines. So that means he's controlling import and export, all right? But the fact that they're still alive, he should have just straight up murdered them. Like, you try to kill me, I'm just gonna kill your ass. Considering he seems to be crazy anyway, he should have just killed them. So I don't get why he let them survive. And there's actually a comment that the real Toby Connor made, which I'll come on to later, explaining how useless Anna is, which is totally true. So what also pissed me off about this chapter was how Anna is such a smartass. She pops out of the ravines and suddenly she knows everything about the ravines and about Acnologia and how he absorbed it. And the thing is, when something occurs for the first time, whether it be in real life, whether it be in the magical world, you never know how that thing occurred. You need to observe things. You need to see cause and effect. You need to test things, you know? So Anna being such a smartass really, really pissed me off. Because surely she should know as little about this as everyone else. She says something like, oh yeah, she explains all of what I've explained in terms of Acnologia absorbing too much and his soul and body have split. How the hell that's never really happened before? I mean, I understand the ravines is a totally new concept in terms of how much magic it has. But freaking Zeref had fairy heart. He had infinite magic, and his body and soul seemed to be fine. You know, he was legit. Acnologia absorbed something which wasn't even infinite. It was just a shit ton, and he couldn't hack it, and his soul and body split. So there's already some issues between Acnologia and Zeref there. Zeref couldn't have been a vessel that could hack so much more power than Acnologia, seeing as Acnologia is someone Zeref was freaking afraid of. She also knew about his spirit and his body uncoupling and all that shit. What else did she know about? She knew that Acnologia is attempting to maintain harmony between his body and his soul by circulating the magic of Dragon Slayers. I was like, how does she know all this? She legit shouldn't know this because it's just happened. She hasn't had time to look over it and think, oh, this might be what happened. And she's so sure of it. She's like, yeah, this is exactly what's happened. And then the other thing was, how did Acnologia know he needed just Dragon Slayer magic? How did he know he didn't need freaking the magic of everyone in the world, and the world that he's going to destroy is going to kill him because he hasn't absorbed everyone's magic? How does he know he just needed Dragon Slayer magic? That's what pisses me off. So was it just to keep the Dragon Slayers relevant? And that's why I was like, maybe the first part of this chapter wasn't as good as some people might have thought it was. But saying that, I know a lot of people, and probably most people, didn't think the first part of these chapters were good. So, you know. And then Natsu begins to be captured. You know, he starts to be crystallized. We get Urza swimming towards Magnolia. If anyone dies, I really hope it's her. Because she seems to be forgetting. I understand that maybe she was maybe healed by Wendy, but she did have almost every single one of her bones in her body broken. Think about that for a second. Every single one of her bones was broken, apart from her arm. I think it was her left arm, maybe her right. And even if that was healed by Wendy, or freaking whoever could apply healing magic to her, she should still be fatigued as shit. Alright? Her energy wasn't repleted. She should still be depleted. You know, she's just gone through an entire freaking war where her body was destroyed, but she fought against a dragon, okay? And the fact that she's just like, yeah, I'm gonna swim my ass to Magnolia, I'm just like, bitch, get your ass back down. You know, I really hate Urza now. Beforehand, I didn't really mind so much. If maybe I was reviewing a lot earlier, I didn't mind Urza so much. I was just like, yeah, you know, she's got a balls up for everyone. She's the one that hypes up the crew, you know. But she's just so annoying. She just doesn't give up. It's like, really, you've been knocked to oblivion and you're still going. You shouldn't be able to still go. You know, you're basically half dead. So she's swimming towards Magnolia, and then Urza couples up with Mest. Mest just appears out of nowhere, and she recruits Grey and crew. With Mest, he teleports her to Grey and Lucy and all them, and they're like, oh, Natsu's dead, and Urza's like, nah, not really, he's still alive. They reunite with Makarov, you know, touching scene, all that bullshit. It wasn't really all that touching. She was just like, oh yeah, okay, you're alive. He was like, yeah. So then all the survivors get together. You get people like Midnight, you get Sorano, I think her name is, Angel, from forgotten which arc it was, but you know which one I'm talking about. You get all the survivors of the war, basically all the guys that have been named in Fairy Tail, gathering together, talking about the situation for both themselves and the Dragon Slayers, in terms of the body of Acnologia is going towards Magnolia, and the spirit of Acnologia is fighting the Dragon Slayers. So then the cats, i.e. Gajeel, Fro, the other cat, Happy, Wendy, they all mutter their Dragon Slayers' names, like, oh, Wendy, oh, Natsu. And then, so yeah, they mutter their names, their respective Dragon Slayers' names. And then we see Natsu struggling to break out of his crystal, and then he goes, and he blows his crystal away. Now, he shouldn't have been able to use magic because he was actually depleted, which was a good thing. But then he's suddenly able to use magic, and I was like, what? What the hell just happened? So then we see that all the Dragon Slayers broke out of their crystals, and I was like, yo, this is kind of dope. How did they get out? And the reason they got out was because they thought they heard the voices of their friends, the people that are waiting for them. And I was like, you used friendship to get out of those crystals. Oh my god, what can't friendship do in this manga? I'm like, come on, man. So I was like, yo, this is bullshit to the max. You know, there's an ass pull, and then there's something beyond an ass pull, something we haven't given a name to yet, and that's what this was. You know, I heard the voices of my friends. It's like, bitch, you didn't hear shit. It's like, get your asses back in those crystals, man. Oh my god. So that was bullshit. All right, the fact that they broke out. Wendy's like, she broke out and she's like, I heard Charles. And then Lax is like, yeah, I don't have a cat. And then Gajeel's all like, yeah, I heard Lily and Levy. Yeah, and I was like, this is bullshit, man. But then we got what I've always wanted to see, which is an awesome double spread. Well done by Mashima. I mean, his art has always been on point. We always rip on him for his story, but his art has always been good. And we see all the Dragon Slayers in like a row, Natsu in the middle, and they're preparing to fight Acnologia. And I was like, yo, and Acnologia is there like, I'll show you why they call me the Dragon King. And I was like, yo, this is gonna be dope. So I'm really, really hyped for that. I'm actually really happy the chapter ended like that, in terms of the Dragon Slayers prepared to fight Acnologia. I'm not talking about how they broke out of the crystals, but I'm really, really excited for what's gonna happen next, because the Dragon Slayers are gonna do what their title ensues. You know what their title what you infer from their title, which is they're gonna slay a dragon. And Laxus is like, yeah, let's turn up this party. It's gonna be dope. So I'm just like, yo, this is gonna be good. And I'm obviously really hyped for this. All right, this is what I've been waiting for a long time, because I wanted to see the Dragon Slayers freaking slay a dragon. You know, that's their whole purpose. So then the next chapter, the title of the next chapter is called Magic of Hope, which is quite discerning, and I'm concerned about that. Well, it's discerning, quite disconcerting. And I'm concerned about that, because anything to do with hope, magic, or anything like that, like the magic of hope or anything like that shit, usually is what ruins Fairy Tail. That's all the bullshit, and that's what the next chapter is called. And considering the next chapter, I'm expecting the Dragon Slayers to go in on Acnologia and him to go in on them. That could really ruin this whole interaction. So I'm hoping it doesn't get messed up. Now, the comment I was talking about by the real Toby, Kana in brackets, is she says, they say, is it any surprise Ichia survived and Anna too? I mean, that was the point of what was the point of even introducing her? She's amounted to nothing, and her character is just a complete failure. I agree with her, or with them. I agree with these people, I agree with them, because Anna has basically been introduced, has been hyped up, and done nothing. She's absolutely pointless to the story. Her plans have failed. She seems to be a smartass for no reason. I mean, the real Toby continues. Coming to the future, she could have easily trained the Dragon Slayers for this day in terms of fighting with Acnologia. Instead, she let them live happy lives, even though she knows how dangerous Acnologia is. Her plan for the Ravines of Time failed because of Zerif, and then Acnologia escaped. Lol. Her character is entirely pointless, and I agree, because the whole point of Anna should have been, I need to go recruit the Dragon Slayers again. They've all been separated. I need to save them, train them up, we KO Acnologia. But, you know, that she's just been introduced in a really pointless manner, and I think Mashima has done a really bad job of making Anna a worthwhile character. She's just stupid. So yeah, let me know what you guys thought of the chapter. I'm really, really hyped for what's going to happen next. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And I will see you guys in a few hours when I put up my Nanatsu no Taizai review. So see you guys in a bit.